I wanted to make an announcement. Not that I'm like that good or anything, but I will. Hello. I thought I would sit here with my friend, the Northern Highlander. I used to call it a yak, but apparently it's called a Northern Highlander. So, this is comfy. All right, so why do I always do this? Anyways, so some of you may know me from my Instagram, some of you may not. My name is Divvy Biswal. I am originally from Ottawa, Canada, and I'm currently right now in Vermont, but I am still half living in California. My husband is a new coach at Dartmouth, so we are half moved back to the East Coast, which is super exciting, right? Okay, so I've been wanting to make a YouTube for a long time. My twin sister and I actually used to have a YouTube back in the day. All the videos have been taken down. Super embarrassing. But yeah, I just think my life is definitely interesting. It's taken a million turns, and if I can help one person feel more confident about their life, I think putting mine on display is worth that. My husband may disagree, but women power, right? Anyways, so the reason why I'm making this video and why I think it is a good kickoff to this YouTube channel is that I wanted to make an announcement. Not that I'm like that good or anything, but I will officially be retiring from track and field. Obviously, I've cried a lot about this. This is my 4th time attempting to film this without crying. I think I've welled out the tears. So obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic still, and while my family was super fortunate, both my parents are safe, my husband got his dream job, I was not so lucky in the sense that I didn't have access to facilities for 9 months. And it sounds crazy because California is wide open and it's hot all the time, but every single track was locked up. I was training on the roads at one point. I had 135 pounds of weights in my backyard, and I lost motivation, which I used to be really embarrassed to say that, but I don't think we should be embarrassed about saying that because it's a harsh reality. Like, nobody's dealt with this before. But anyways, for me to have gone to the Olympics, it was never a given shot for me, which there are some people who went into the pandemics. There are some people who went into the pandemic and they knew that they were going to the Olympics, and I was not one of those people. I needed a perfect year for it to happen. And obviously the pandemic is far from perfect. And it honestly became such a big mental stress of, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna train? How am I gonna get into these meets? The field events are already not well supported by Athletics Canada. Anybody who saw the events they released for the Olympic trials that didn't have most field events can tell that. Not having a supportive federation, not having facilities, track also doesn't make me money. I'm not a sponsored athlete. I think I could have been maybe if I lived in a different country, but in Canada especially, and the United States, it's very difficult for a field event athlete to get sponsored. And my modeling career took off because the schedule was open, which is a huge, huge blessing. But it doesn't take away this pain of what I thought my identity was. My identity was I was a track athlete. I was training for the Olympics. I centered my whole life around it. I gave up my career in finance for it, which I don't regret, by the way. But I think I have resisted telling people or making some type of formal announcement because I didn't want it to be real to myself. And as I have been not training and I continue to get messages on Instagram, mean messages at that, I thought it was just time to rip off the Band-Aid, say something. And maybe when I move here full-time in August, like maybe that might change and I might say, oh, I have facilities at Dartmouth, like I can train full-time. I don't know, but for right now, I think this is what feels right in my heart. I'm really passionate about modeling. Like I never grew up thinking I could be a model, you know, like girls were so mean to us, guys were so mean to us. I was told that I wasn't pretty because I wasn't white at a really young age. I used to grow up like praying to God that I could wake up white. Which is really awful, you know? But I thought like that's what I wanted. I wanted that more than anything on this planet, was like I wanted to be white. Because I hated how dark my skin got when it tanned. And so I thought I was so ugly, like probably until my sophomore year of college. And so for me, becoming a model was something that I did thinking I could get one job a week. Sorry, no, one job a month, like just help me pay my rent because track doesn't really pay. And it turned into like a massive career for me. And as I started doing it more, I became more confident. And I realized, like, especially when I get messages from younger Indian girls saying that they're so excited to see representation within brands, you know, that is something that I sit back and I realize, like, I didn't have anybody to look up to when I was younger. I had Bollywood stars, and now Priyanka Chopra is in Hollywood and everybody knows who she is because she's married to Nick Jonas and she is a great actress. But I had Bollywood stars to look up to, but like being Indian wasn't cool. In my eyes, like being Indian was one of the worst things that could have happened to me, which is crazy. So anyways, the whole point of this is that I am really excited that I have found something else that I can be equally passionate about as track and field. And I'm not just gonna like disappear from the sport. Like I'm the biggest track nerd ever. I also have a bet with my husband. So today is May 29th. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this, but we'll just say that the timer starts from the day I upload this. I have 2 years to run a sub 36 minute 10K. Didn't really think that one through. I thought after I ran my 1953 5K, it was a fair bet to make. So I think I'll be making videos about my life, travel, modeling, my career changes, finance, doing biochem in school, quitting my job to train for the Olympics, becoming a model, like immigrating to the US. Like I think I have so many different things that I can share. So why not make videos about it? Because I like talking into my phone, as those who follow me on Instagram know. And then I'm also going to be documenting my 10K training because I have $1,000 on the line. So gotta keep myself accountable. Running is hard. I have 2 years to do it. Anyways, that is all for right now. I'm gonna try to stop rambling and I'll see you guys for the next video. There are so many people I need to thank for my track career. One in particular is my coach, Kevin Reed. I moved to California to train with him and I jumped the best and ran the fastest I ever did under him. I will tell anyone he is the best coach, knows how to make you fast, and you can't jump far if you're not fast. I also like really need to thank my husband because he has supported me through everything, and it's really hard to support somebody who wants to do something full-time that doesn't make you money. And he did it, and it was never a question of like, should you do this? It was always, you know, you've got to do this if this is what your heart wants. And I am so lucky to have found somebody like that because there are so many people in this world who just wouldn't understand. And then obviously I need to thank my sister, who is my #1 cheerleader. even though I sometimes am not hers. I'm not as good as showing it as she is. I am internally, but externally, I'm getting better, I think. And then my parents, because my parents encouraged me to leave my finance job and to pursue my dreams. And Indian parents don't usually do that, you know? Like, my parents have always raised us like we were in Canada, not like we were in India. We were always allowed to have boyfriends and eat meat and, you know, play sports, which is not a very Indian thing to do. It's always about studies. And when I went to school to be a doctor and called my mom and said, I don't want to be a doctor anymore, she took it in stride. And when I called her saying I wanted to quit my job, she took it in stride. So my parents are amazing people, and there are so many more people I need to thank, I think, for this video that I don't want to make it too long, and maybe I'll make another video about track. But yeah, I just have to thank them because without them,